Wow, he's a lot taller than I remembered, having never met him before.
Do you desire?
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye to all of this. Goodbye. Oh, hey. Hey, I didn't see you there.
Hey, Lance, well, you're hiding behind the tree now.
Yeah, are you pursuing me around the tree?
I guess
Hey,
I
Mike.
am. Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah,
Hey, Michael. No funny business. Welcome to Altspace.
that's good to be here. It's been a while.
And before we get started, I just have to say that I adore Altspace. Like, I've always maintained that it's the best place for events, and also quite good for socializing. Can't qualify it as the best, maybe, but it's a good place to meet people, like-minded people.
Okay.
But
All right. So that platform plug out of the way.
Let's
get into it.
But I say that maintaining a small criticism that there's not much to do environmentally. Like, it just gives you a place, and there's not much to it. You're there to meet people anyway, right? Guess what, Michael?
What's that?
This is VR special first. This is a VR special first, but I was wrong. So today we are in the hub world of the voice guy. So the voice guy has made this hub world, and he has offered us something very special. We're going to Disneyland. Hey,
Lance.
welcome to Star Tours.
Yeah, the music's coming in. It does take me back, but I think Star Tours closed because Disney bought Star Wars and decided to come up with some new story trajectories.
And that's why I brought you here, Michael, because you're what we call a Star Wars historian.
Yeah.
It may very well be closed, but as you know, everything can be archived and preserved forever in virtual reality, and so it has been.
That's true.
Yeah. So if you look at the picture over here, like we have the Star Tours queue that we might all remember, and it's showing the video that you now see on the screen. So anyone nostalgic for waiting in line, like a experience here, thank you again, the voice guy. And as you remember, we have our good Theo and the droid, the R2D2.
Yeah, the droid. How insulting! He doesn't have a name. The droid. God.
I know. I shouldn't treat him like that because he's short.
May I have your attention?
How about that?
Please? At this time,
Front row.
I'd like to take a moment to
what's
review
this guy
our
doing
boarding
here?
process with you.
Yeah,
When
I
the
know.
automatic doors have
Boo.
opened, please
You
proceed
usurper.
directly across
You
the ramp
upstart.
into the cabin. Continue
Yeah.
to move all the way across your aisle.
I remember this.
Filling in all passengers are required to wear safety restraints throughout the flight. To fasten the restraint, pull the strap
Does
out
it
from
bring
the
you
right
back
side
memory?
of the seat
Are
and
you
snap it
strapped
into
in?
the console on your
Yeah,
left.
seatbelts. We
Galactic
need seatbelts in
regulations
VR.
require that all
We don't have any
carry-on items
seatbelts.
be safely stowed beneath your seat.
Yeah.
While on board,
Any
flash
action
photography is not permitted. And please, no smoking
There's
at
an
any
X
time.
out the right.
If you have any
What do you
got over
questions,
there?
feel free to ask an attendant.
We have
You'll be boarding in just a few moments.
We have a YT 1300
And
Corellian
have a
freighter.
pleasant tour.
I don't know. It looks pretty nondescript, though. That satellite's quite large for that model.
You think
Welcome
so?
aboard.
Yeah,
This is
that's definitely
Captain
not
Rex
stock.
from the cockpit. I know this is probably your first flight.
Yeah, they probably
and it's mine too.
stole it.
Well, it looks like we're going to
Yeah,
have
it's
a
very
smooth
common
flight
with
to Endor.
That's
So
smugglers,
go
I've
ahead and
heard.
open the cockpit shield.
There's no
What's
reason
that?
to know. There's no reason to believe he's a smuggler, or she,
Hi
or
there.
it. So many
I
so
see
many
they're loading our
assumptions.
navigator R2D2, and then we'll be on our way.
Okay.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Star
Yeah.
Tours 45.
So we're about to
elevator
take off.
platform has been activated.
that's good.
Commence
Like the
final
action is
launch
starting
sequence.
here.
Roger, control.
Yeah.
All
So
set,
yeah,
let's
so
go.
for those of you who aren't well versed in VR, we're about to learn
ST-45, you are cleared for takeoff.
about what
Contact
makes an
departure
immersive
control at
experience.
120.4.
So
Copy,
the elements, the
120.4.
visual. So looking around, that is cover.
45, you're
Yeah.
going the wrong way.
Have we got sound? We sure do.
Wait,
Like what about the vibrating, the tilting? The down upward motion? Well, not so much.
That little shortcut.
No. This is what we call
Light speed.
a trip down memory lane.
I see.
Yeah. So you remember what it was to like be tossed about during this ride?
We passed the Endor moon. Now what's the matter? Oh no! Comments!
I remember when I experienced this, I didn't understand where we were in the galaxy that the Endor moon was like right next door. Was the closest thing we could have come across.
That's what you said.
Yeah. Because it was meant to be quite out of the way.
Yeah.
And we never really learned what the name of that moon is. We just know it's the moon of Endor, but the planet's Endor. We don't know what the name of the moon is.
So do you think the original Star Tours is canon? Like, as I said, this is from 1987 it opened.
Well, canon's been, all expanded universe has been thrown out. So I assume it's not canon now, but I always considered it canon. There was a company that just engaged in some type of commercial exploitation of the war for wealthy patrons. Families.
Okay.
I thought that was canon.
No, so I'll have you know that a lot of
Oh, hold on, wait. This is the best part. The guy right there that we can barely see because of the low resolution, you know that's George Lucas, right?
Was my first flight, and I'm still getting used to my
Yeah, that was his cameo.
Hope you enjoyed your tour of Endor and will come back soon. Now please unlatch your safety restraints by pressing the release button on your left.
I mean, it does, I think,
before you exit through the
virtual, like the consumer VR headsets, you know, virtual reality capability. I think really it should give us a moment to really appreciate all the virtual reality that did exist for many, many years that was never really given its proper credit because it was for entertainment or it was at a theme park or something. I mean, rides like Star Tours were really effective, very effective. And would have been more so in some way if you weren't with so many strangers, you know, if it was more like it's a group of specific people who are really into the experience and want to be in it, I think, you know, that would always have led to a better individual experience.
So, here's the thing. This boat, it's not going to budge. You have to just keep going.
What?
No boat required. That's why we're flying. It's just an ornament. What are you doing? Are you teleporting around?
I'm waiting for you.
The point is you fly. We fly together.
Yeah.
So this is how the ride is meant to be experienced.
Okay.
Like one step at a time. Or one wing beat, or whatever you want. So, do they have a Pirates over in the Florida Disney park?
They do, yeah, they do.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. I've never been. I have no idea. But yeah. Again, I'm old enough to have seen the it's nearly the original version.
Yeah, they didn't
really.
Here
are some images from that.
They didn't really update it. I mean, I've been to both, and I remember. I mean, I was young when I went to Disneyland, but Disney World did not strike me as different than my memory of Disneyland's. And I never saw it adapted for the films.
Okay, I haven't either.
No, I take that back.
So which works in our favor.
They added Jack Sparrow. They did do that.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Remember the Pirates rides? They have a restaurant inside.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, there is. No, I have a very clear memory because I went with my family as a child, and we weren't exceptionally wealthy or anything. So we went and begged our parents to let us eat inside in the Pirates restaurant. because you'd be sitting in a place so much like that, like waving at the boats go by.
Oh, really?
And it was too expensive. So we had to go like to a concession stand to get a hot dog or something.
And then go sit there and pretend like you bought it in that restaurant?
No. They'd pretty quickly catch on. So, like Disneyland, they run a tight ship. So, in Euro Disney, outside of Paris, I did have the money to go to that restaurant as an adult, visiting the park alone. And you know what? I did.
Awesome.
I waved at every boat that went past. I think they kept it for posterity's sake because this has been somewhat stricken from the record, as they say. Do you know where these winches live now? In the Disney Vault.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. The Disney Vault, along with Song of the South and all the Nazi paraphernalia.
Yeah, but it's probably on Disney. I thought they opened up the vault for Disney Plus.
Oh no, like the literal vault.
Oh, the literal vault. Yeah, but I thought they opened that up too.
Yeah, the literal Disney Vault. Like the one that they have deep on. What's that?
I actually thought that they did have Song of the South on Disney Plus. I thought I was reading that supposedly the entire IP was meant to be open. And of course, the first thought was, all right, is Song of the South there? Because if it's not, then it obviously it's not. So, and I thought that officially it was there, but people weren't able to find it for some reason. I haven't checked on it recently because it's not like I'm dying to see it, but it's just I find Disney. I grew up around Disney, you know, in the center of Disney, so I've always been fascinated with their culture.
Okay. No, I mean, since you bring it up, which I wasn't going to, I always tiptoe around Song of the South, but I will plug this podcast series called "You Must Remember This."
Mm-hmm.
So, like, type that into your iTunes podcast app. You must remember this. They did like a multi-part series on Song of the South, which is just incredible. Mm-hmm. Like breaking down like bit by bit why this was like the work of an ardent racist, like, which is absolutely like clear on its face. And like I don't remember seeing the film, like just the Brer Rabbit parts. But,
yeah. Brer Rabbit, when I was a kid, was an actual character that you could buy like books and audio. Like I had audiobooks for Brer Rabbit.
Right.
So yeah, there was a point where that character was still, I want to say the 80s or even up to the very early 90s. It was still a character you could that was in use.
Well, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there were like 5 theatrical releases of it, like throughout the years. And the last one, if I remember correctly, was in the 80s. But I mean, it was met along the way with further and further controversy. Because like even when it was originally released, I think the 1930s, 1940s, it was.
I think it was.
Like,
no, it was the 50s.
It was.
Pretty sure it was the.
Was
50s.
It the 50s?
Yeah, I think so. 50s are earliest of 60s, but I think 50s.
Okay, so so when it was originally released, like while Walt Disney was still alive, let's say that, it was highly criticized by the NAACP and racial activists. So the idea that the times were different then isn't a valid response to this, to the release of this film. And the fact that they kept re-releasing it was just kind of like putting your foot down about your core message, which in the film was like highly conservative values of going back to the way things were. Like,
yeah, of course, but that's Disney, you know. At least that was Disney. That was Walt Disney, you know, because I think one of the stories was when he died, he was actively trying to build another theme park, which was his perfect world, which was the Missouri town where he grew up. And Roy, his brother, was still working on that after Walt died, because that was like this, the passion project was, this was perfect Americana, which was like 20s, early 19 teens Missouri, which it just puts in context that, that's when you say, like, I mean, it's a fair argument that the times, it doesn't matter if the times were different because we're in this time. So the conversations we have are now about it. But at the same time, obviously, there were people who paid money to see it. That song, Zippity Doo Dah, which I think you do still hear that used, though I don't know how often now. It won several, I think it won an Academy Award, or it just, it won, or it was a #1 hit. It was, if anything, that's the problem, is that it did lead to a very pop-friendly, bit of art, or whatever you call that song.
Yeah. But I'm glad you mentioned Zippity Doo Dah, because that in itself was a derivation of another song that was performed by live theater troops where all of the actors were in blackface.
Yeah.
So even that one has a huge burden of history.
I'm sure,
and it is pretty.
I can't imagine anyone using it now. I mean, in the last 10 or 15 years, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is used, simply because people don't. The film is so suppressed.
They don't know.
They don't even associate the song with the film, and so the song just is just like nonsense words, with no background to it, no context to it. But
right. Yeah, but when the films had its theatrical release, that's when, every time it was when there were 3 television channels, and if a Disney film came out, they're just let's take the kids. It's not about making a statement; it's just a way to pass an afternoon with the kids.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But anyway,
film had that purpose back then. Thank God we have cable.
Yeah.
And the internet. Oh, cable. How old am I? How old am I that I'm talking about cable? Yeah.
Now let's see what's in the old bar here.
In the Peg Leg Tavern.
Oh, look at that. Jack Sparrow is here.
He is.
Yeah. So Michael, having come to a Disney themed, 2 Disney themed rides, then talked about the racist past, and I said something about Nazis before. I'm a little worried that Disney's going to take us down.
But this isn't.
They're going to take us off of YouTube.
But this isn't IP. This isn't Disney IP.
Is it not?
I mean, that is. Actually, that could just be a picture of someone in a really good costume. I mean, and Jack Sparrow, that's a common name, and a bird, also common.
Yeah. I think we're in trouble this time.
I wonder,
this is not appropriate.
I wonder if that's actually in the ride. I never saw it before.
No way. No way.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? We're talking about it's an old timey. You could have gotten away. I mean, I think you could still get away with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with a nice double entendre.
Yeah, that's why I always have to censor you in these things. See, look.
What'd you find, Lance?
I found the most valuable treasure of all. The what do they call it? A hominid? An early hominid skull?
That's true, yeah. You can fetch maybe $2-3 million for one.
Yeah. Yeah, more than a bit of gold.
It belongs in a museum.
I was curious about this one, though. Is this canon?
I haven't seen it before. I don't recall. Well, not these models.
Yeah, me either.
Not the pasties.
Yeah, me either. I was wondering if this is like some kind of Pirates After Dark thing that our parents didn't tell us about.
Yeah. Yeah, you pay extra for a different ticket.
Backstage pass. Here. What is this Coptic cross right here? Did you notice this?
I don't know if I would call it Coptic.
What is it?
No, I take that back. You're right. I was thinking Orthodox. No, Coptic. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
That's right. You owe me a Coke now.
Yeah.
All right. So Michael, we've been through a couple of rides now, Star Tours and Pirates of the Caribbean. And I feel like I've just spent a whole day in Disneyland with you.
Yeah,
just
did you
talking
enjoy it?
each other's ears off.
Yeah.
So now I feel like useful, like a kid again. And how do you feel?
I feel like I just won the Super Bowl. Like prior to coming here.
Okay. You don't need to explain it. I got it. That's funny. Yes. So to everyone out there, thank you. Like really, thank you. To the Disney theme park and its IP. Thank you also. Your history has been flawless, and all you've done is set youthful imagination aflame.
Yeah, a beacon of hope.
In a good way. Okay, so we forgive you. Don't take us down.
Forgive. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't